All right, we can see FlyQuest choosing the blue side, LYON choosing last pick, as we've got Poppy and Nocturne banned out by Fly. LYON going to go ahead, remove the Jace, as well as say, you know what, we had a good time at MSI with no lock. Let's keep that rolling.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see a lot of. Teams not willing to let the other one a first pick lock. This champion is very, very strong at the moment, despite already getting some nerfs, and is in line for another round of nerfs. So I think that is going to remain consistent. But like I said, I think the meta was already quite good, for Saint. So I want to see what FlyQuest can do here, because from the FlyQuest point of view, they're coming from some practice in Korea as well, and this may be one of their best opportunities to try and get a win versus LYON. Early in the split, they don't have Inspired. This would be the perfect time to strike, and they're going to continue on with the Mage's trend. Ziggs here, quite possibly for the bottom lane. There is always the flexibility of being able to rotate it, but you're pretty sure that is going to be a Ziggs plus either like a Camille or some sort of roaming support.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so far this split, there's been 53 Ziggs games bought, only one mid lane. So, in the third split globally, that is including, tier 2 as well, because we haven't gotten that far into the season yet, so there's not that much data. But it is going to be Camille taken away on the other side, as well as that Jarvan. So a lot of engage being grabbed here early on from LYON.
Not just engage, but two of Ziggs' best friends with the Hextech Ultimatum plus the Cataclysm, making easy targets for the combo with the Mega Inferno Bomb. LYON looking to take some of the bite out of the explosives there from the Ziggs, but FlyQuest is going to respond. They're going to put Griffin on Lee Sin. For the type of player, for the type of personality that Griffin is, I feel like an early game playmaking, skirmishing type of champ like Lee really fits the bill.
And Lee is just a good pick into Jarvan, so it's a nice response to seeing the answers from LYON here. With so much mobility, it's quite easy for Lee Sin to deal with the EQ combo, and as well with the Cataclysm. And then the Leona answer into the Camille too. We've seen a lot of this when the Camille in lane tries to go for these plays. The Leona is so tanky. You can just focus down the Camille, lock her down, hit her with the combo with Ziggs, and it is guaranteed damage there. Plus, then your roaming is fairly effective as well once you can get to your ultimate. And you can pair up with a very mobile jungler like Lee Sin. So honestly, I think the responses from both sides have been quite good here in the first 3 picks.
Yeah, agreed. I really started at MSI preferring the lanes that were drafted to actually attack Camille instead of Camille's partner, because they just seemed so much more effective. Camille hookshots in, Leona goes on him, you're way tankier than the Camille, it becomes very difficult, and then it becomes a game of kind of matching roams. It is interesting though, as much as Lee Sin is about as standard gets for junglers throughout League's history, it is the first professional game that Griffin will have ever played. So we will see how he does, because this is a champion that I always see as being really strong when you're incredible at it, and being pretty trash when you're average at it, even at the pro level. So I'm kind of excited to see how he performs.
And I've said it before, but my kind of made-up criteria that I always put for Lee is I need to see something other than zeros in your scoreline by the time you hit level 7. You need to be involved early, making some kind of a play. Once you have Dragon's Rage, there's no excuse not to find somebody and make a move. So that's kind of what I'm always expecting to see players get involved once they have all of the kit unlocked. Second half of the draft, though, coming around, and LYON is targeting some of those annoying solo lane picks in the Vayne and the Twisted Fate being banned out. Meanwhile, FlyQuest has their eyes dead set on mid. Sylas and Syndra both banned away from Saint.
Yeah, Syndra becoming pretty popular bot lane as well in this split, so that's something that they're a bit worried about there. It's going to be interesting to see where they go. Obviously, for LYON, it was mostly bans just protecting Dokla, whether it is an ADTF or a TF mid that's going to be roaming. They're just trying to stay safe in that regard.
Berserker going over all of these bot lane possible champions here too. And we're going to end up with a Cassio. I'm going to guess that it is currently going to go to Saint, but it is definitely flexible. The Cassio Camille, definitely a good answer here, because Cassio doesn't have to work around cooldowns like Ziggs does. So if you do go for, each trying to kill each other's support, then the Cassio can kind of run you down as well. and puts the extra pressure back the other way. Ooh, this is a very good steal away, especially for Fearless here. Take up that Akali for later on.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'd also say, as much as I'd never really had the association of Berserker and Mages, I thought he played great on Mages at MSI, right? And he has kind of proven that he can, play at least the Ziggs. He can, look really comfortable and carry some games on those champions.
And I mean, especially for a player who was known for his hyper carries, his stuff like the Zeri, I feel like this current twisting of the meta for the mages in bottom lane, it's one of those types of instances of the game similar to melee assassins mid, where if you have a player who can't play it, your team is now at a massive disadvantage because it's just the strongest way to play League right now. So Berserker showing that, yeah, he can manage to check that box. Great news for LYON. It is the Akali and Mbessa, two powerful divers here on the FlyQuest side. With Lee, Akali, and Mbessa, the carries on LYON are going to have to be very careful here in this one, as the final pick of the draft on the LYON side will be LeBlanc for Saint.
So it is going to be Cassio bot, and yeah, the chains there, with LeBlanc, you can reveal the Akali in the Shroud, try to lock him down, try to burst them down. Obviously, a good ganking jungler alongside that Jarvan. You have that power of the LeBlanc and the Jarvan. I would be very surprised if this is actually a LeBlanc bot. I feel like they're messing with us.
They have until, it's 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
So,
but we don't have the exact timer, so it's kind of...
The bar has to be at like a third, because you get 60. So whatever a third of the
this
bar...
This would shock me.
It's getting close. Oh, they're not messing around.
A third of the bar.
They're going to swap. I don't believe it.
Let's see. Hold on, I don't know where the bar has to be.
Yeah, where's the
like
20 seconds?
It got down to the last two champions, man. I feel like this is the end of the bar. Okay.
You want the LeBlanc into the Akali. FlyQuest are also having a little fun with it there, too. You see them swapping. All right, fine. What about Akali bottom? Everybody puts the guns down. Everybody calm down.
The coaches pulled out the guns. that's what happened.
You better trade that champion.
They're like, trade that champion right now.
We have had some issues with the cutoff for trading.
Yes,
so no messing around with that 20-second rule. And we'll get into our first game here. Back for summer in the LCS feels good.
I am so ready for this. FlyQuest going up against LYON. LYON, of course, going to be down some of that special sauce that has made them such a powerful contender because they don't have Inspired. But Kobe, you already mentioned how Doak was saying, no, everybody else is ready to take up some of that Inspired mantle, work together as a team, despite the fact that they're running a substitute jungler. But man, they're up against a FlyQuest team that is hungry. This is a squad that's been building up throughout the whole year, talking about how, yeah, we've got a young roster. We got to work to get where we want to be. We want to get a spot at Worlds. Well, now you have an opportunity to play against one of your top contenders for one of those World spots when they are in a weakened state, not having their star player. For FlyQuest, this is as good as it's going to get, and they need to strike true. Let's get onto the rift for the first time here in Summer Split for LCS 2026.
Okay, so Saint here with the counter pick, with the LeBlanc in mid lane. With the chain and with the ignite, have some really good answers to Akali. Bottom side, though, is going to be our first bit of damage.
All right, one auto attack plus a hook shot. It doesn't do a whole lot. Okay, there, a couple more auto
Count
attacks.
Count them all.
Traded.
There's like 3 for Isles, one and a Q for crashing.
Well, technically, the spells still count as autos for both of them, right? Because they just enchant the foot or the shield, whichever one makes the contact. All right, so just looking across the board, everything looks pretty standard here. Teleport advantage, though, decidedly in the favor of FlyQuest, as both Quad and Masu are running the TPs, while Saint has Ignite and Berserker has Cleanse.
Yeah, Berserker going to be taking Cleanse, obviously a lot of CC there. Also just interesting that he's going to be playing Conqueror. He's not playing Deathfire Touch, so he's going to be playing more for that sustain, stacking that up. So if they do have any extended fights, that can be quite powerful. And you're looking over at the other side as a Cassio, and you're seeing 4 melee champs. You're seeing a lot of ability to potentially kite back and try to, deal with them in an extended fight.
Yeah, I actually like this a lot for a bottom lane, especially because with the 2v2, you have multiple targets and the double melee supports. And as they continue to go for some of these trades here.
Ooh, Quad in some serious danger, caught up by the chains. Ignite still ticking, flash away from the FlyQuest mid laner. One more auto attack may have sealed his fate there, and he does not want to risk it. So Ignite from Saint traded for the flash of Quad.
Yeah, I think that Q was almost back up for Saint, so for sure he could have gone for flash Q auto and finished him off, so he had to early flash. But this was LYON returning from MSI, taking down #1 seeds from a bunch of different regions. They 3-0 Furia, they 3-0 Seer Whales, and they're going to get first blood here as well.
From 3-0s into 2v2s. Berserker going wants another one. Berserker! He got too thirsty for it, but it's an execution, so he doesn't even truly get punished. LYON are ready to play this one fast and loose.
That's how he got his name, Flowers.
Yeah, that was a
You
berserk
go
one for sure.
He went berserk under the
Seeing
tower.
red.
My man is just yelling, "Witness me!"
He's trying to chase him down. Got hyped up. And let's take another look at how it starts. So Isles, once again, goes for the initiation, and the long E from Cryogen takes him into his own death.
Yeah, and I mean, you're just not that tanky on the LYON. He didn't have his W skilled yet, right? So he goes back in. The hook shot into that Q from the Casio guarantees it, and Berserker knows he's trolling a little bit, but still, the wave was good. The kill is good.
They were hovering over a lot of mages and champions. They could be played bottom lane in Champ Select. It takes a while, though, to learn all the thresholds and the actual lethals here. And see if you actually have enough speed to chase him down. So still feeling it out, but yeah, execute.
Man, Quad is just not having a fun time here in this mid lane head-to-head. You saw Saint take a big chunk of his health again. Isles was also hanging around, so there was no opportunity for Quad to do anything back. So the Akali early lane being about as fun as you would expect. There's a flash coming in from Saint. Wants more and more auto attack to turn it around. It's a 1-for-1 thanks to the turret, but now back in the mid lane, Isles has to get away from Griffin. The Lee Sin going in for another kill. Wants to try to give FlyQuest the advantage here, and the resonating strike finds its target. Griffin ties up the game.
All right, the jungler versus support matchup here goes the way of Griffin. Not necessarily a fair one there, as Isles was toying around and trying to get vision deep in the jungle. And now another scrap, Flowers.
Yeah, Berserker's coming in after Masu. One more Twin Fang finds the throat of Ziggs. And that's another kill going to Berserker. 2-1-0 here with the Cassiopeia.
I love it. Everybody's back and we're limit testing. Everybody's hands checking each other. And the Saint one, by the way, was super worth it. That mid lane dive they did there were so many minions at the tower. Yep. So he did not hesitate to flash and push Quad even further back. But now we're on another roam. And we're going to continue to keep the action.
All right, the ganks just keep coming. Gakko's stunned up by the hook shot. Dokla going in. Gakko's flashing back underneath the turret as Armeo wanted to help make it a three-man play, but instead he's going to be found in the enemy jungle as Griffin and Cryogen coming around looking to turn things back on the Jarvan. Armeo down to 350 HP. Not quite enough damage to kill him just yet, but Griffin finally gets it. Now Isles and Dokla going in for something more. Meganar finds a target onto Cryogen, and a level 3 Leona will not survive the burst from the LeBlanc. It's a 1-for-1 trade when the dust settles up here in the top side, but down in bottom lane, Berserker is still going after Masu. Another noxious blast. The wave built up in favor of Berserker, ready to crash that one in.
Yeah, really good plays here from LYON, just pressing across the map. Even though Armeo dies, top lane play still good. And, Masu.
Oh, Masu, one more Twin Fang. Berserker gets it, and he's not even going to get executed. 22 HP, not even close.
He's calibrating. He's calibrating. Yeah. He's got it downloaded.
The first one was just oh, wait a second now. We're going to have a fight over Crab, too. Isles is joining, but the Crab is already down, so the fighting will have a little bit of a break just for now. But Berserker's just been destroying on bottom side. For Masu at the Ziggs side of the matchup, you want to keep your range. You only want to try and CS and get very small little bits of poke damage. Casio, when Berserker closes the distance, he's got the speed on you now with the poison already there and just murders him.
I mean, one of the really difficult things is people think about, okay, Ziggs, well, yeah, you just stand back and you wave clear. But when you get this far behind, he stands in between you and the wave. And if you're using your bouncing bombs for last hitting, well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to push that wave away from yourself.
Guess what's going to happen here on the top side is Gakko tries to get away, but Dokla goes in for one more auto attack. And Isles, with his Camille sharpened freshly from the whetstone of MSI, finds another play here in the top lane.
So, LYON's strategy with Inspired not here is just to everybody fight all the time anyway in your own lanes. And then we won't really notice the jungle because everybody's going for skirmishes and they're pressing it.
And look at the CS advantage that opened up. It was actually pretty close before that, but the wave was so bad for Gakkos and he died with no TP, and that is the nightmare scenario for top lane. When you get ganked, wave pushing away, then it gets crashed, and the wave is just going to reset and push towards Dokla again. You're down 20 CS plus the kill.
I mean, we've got 9 kills in 7 minutes. It's about to be 10, almost. Berserker, one more Twin Fang would have done it. Mega Inferno Bomb flying out just to try to thin the wave out a little bit here. But it is bad news for FlyQuest in the bottom lane, and honestly, across the whole Rift, it's a 2,000 gold lead 8 minutes into the game for LYON.
Yeah, I mean, we know Berserker so much for hyper carries as AD carries, you know, the Zeri-style champions. But now he's on the Machine Gun Mage, and he is making that a hyper carry as well. And Cassio does scale super well. One of the things with bot lane mages is you still get the extra item slot and the extra gold, and it is really going to be a very powerful carry force here for LYON. They're going to rotate him all the way up to the mid lane fairly early for these scrubs, and you can see that FlyQuest are keeping these Ziggs on bottom side, so I would assume they're giving it, even though he does have teleport.
Okay, you do have a lot of FlyQuest players hanging around here. They're certainly thinking about it at the very least, but they took too long to think because LYON's already got the grubs.
Yeah, and now you have all these losing lanes, and now you gave over 3 grubs to LYON, who is already getting pushed in all these lanes. That is going to make things even harder. And Berserker being this fed, Cassio is so strong into melee-heavy compositions like this. If you can't one-shot the Cassio, you're playing 4 melee champions into Miasma, into Petrifying Gaze, into all of these difficult abilities to deal with. So Berserker's in a great position to just take over a game like this.
Yeah, he can nullify the movement of so many of these champions on the side of FlyQuest. I will say, they've got all of these teleports now. It's 3-0 in teleports to the advantage of FlyQuest, but they've just been losing so much health in all these skirmishes really early that they have not used these map movements, and LYON, that was a really good one. They just had Dokla up by the grubs, and then as soon as the wave is crashing bottom lane, he uses his teleport. They only have the one on their team, but they made it very, very successful.
Don't really need the extra TPs when you keep killing the other team. They're just TPing back to lane. They're not doing anything else with it.
All right, well, we've got to find some sort of a way for FlyQuest to come back in here. 1,000 gold lead for Dokla, 1,000 gold lead for Berserker. Yeah, Griffin's got his own little bit of a gold lead, but it's just because he's the beneficiary of 2 out of 3 of the kills here for the team. This Lee Sin is going to have to get to work making some plays and stopping LYON from continuing to just play this so aggressively.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about, the jungle matchup, and people are obviously very focused on the fact that Inspired's going to be here. Armeo's just kind of been chilling, farming. He's got 1 assist, hasn't really been involved in anything. His team is just running over the game across the map here, winning all 3 lanes. That is the jungler's dream. You're just chilling.
Yep. It's like, wow, I've done a great job. Look at how good all my lanes are doing.
You ask your laners, okay, who doesn't have flashes now? Unfortunately, now with this little cooldown in the fighting, everybody does have their flashes, and so that's going to put some more pressure on this dragon as we're going to see the rotation over. Isles here, going to be able to sweep out the vision, and they're so mobile here. Saint getting a good chunk very early. If you're Leona's already taking like 40% damage right there.
Meanwhile, still only level 4 on Isles Camille. He only needs another minion or 2 to actually hit level 5, but he's been roaming so much, he's just not been near any of the EXP as it happens, but the Hextech Drake goes to LYON.
And you know who the beneficiary of that is? Level 9 for Berserker. We can see he's already level 9, and Masu's still level 7. He's about to hit 8, but that's a full level lead there. Obviously, Berserker winning that 1v1, getting so much solo XP. This Cassio is really getting accelerated.
Okay, Griffin goes in. Public execution, though, it misses! Gakos doesn't line up the ulti where Griffin found the Dragon's Rage, so Dokla's able to get away for now. Big Dokes fighting underneath the turret, nearly kills them both off. A blunder from FlyQuest as Dokla's about to transform into Mega Gnar, and LYON wants to try to find a counterplay now. They immediately send it in. Armeo's grabbing the kill on Gakos. Griffin trying to get away, flashes out of the Cataclysm, but Cryogen is trapped. Isles still looking, seeing maybe if there's something else they can do. Meanwhile, it's Saint jumping in over the wall with the distortion, and Griffin's out of the picture. FlyQuest tried, FlyQuest died, and it's LYON counting up the bodies.
And Big Dokes can stand up and say, if you come at the king, you best not miss. But Gakos missed! It was not the exact distance that you get kicked there with Lee Sin. It was a little bit to the side on the Ambessa ult. Dokla gives him the emote and then deals out like a couple thousand damage as he's kiting them back into the turret. So here's the kick. The distance is going to end like right here, and it's just a slightly off there for Gakos. Doesn't quite get the exact distance. And then Doko, look how much damage he's doing. And the key part is the rotation from the team. Whenever you're getting ganks like that, you're making time and you're trying to deal enough damage to set up kills for your team when they can return. And it's not just these two either. Saint there through the jungle. You can see the LeBlanc coming to pick up another one.
Yeah, and Griffin looking a little bit frustrated there. It is definitely slipping away from them pretty quickly here in this first game. And again, this was kind of an expected FlyQuest win because LYON has had this brutal schedule, because LYON is missing their big star in Inspired, who is not only the best jungler in the league, but is also shot calling everything. So it's definitely a tough start here for FlyQuest.
I hope we get some listen-ins on the Lions comms because LYON themselves put out a lot on their YouTube. And I always like when we hear, Saint and Dokla and stuff yelling and bantering back and forth. So now that there's a little bit more room, I want to see what this game is like too. Since it's also been so action-packed, you know it's going to be a funny one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was also fun. Saint tweeted out that he actually wanted to jungle for Inspired, but they couldn't find a mid laner. So he wanted to be the jungler. He wanted to be Inspired. They're looking for Gatkos though. And this is tough. I mean, they're just getting pushed in every single lane, trying to get something down here.
Meanwhile, down to the bottom side, Armeo working with Dokla yet again. They're going to find the instant kill on Griffin's Lee Sin. Now Quad has to try to escape past the smoke screen, getting away to the left, while Cryogen wards away Isles here on the top side. Quad making his way back underneath the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane at the same time. The solo laners from FlyQuest trying to defend here at these tier 1s, but with Quad's smoke having already been used, he knows it's so dangerous to try to stay underneath this tier 1 turret. Saint continues putting the pressure on in top side at the same time. As Gatkos jumps in, just clears out the wave. Saint staying safe, has Isles right beside him. Dokla's gonna get everything but the last plate here on that top side turret. And it's just more and more and more for LYON.
I mean, the craziest thing is they're up almost 5K and they don't even have first tower gold yet, right? So they're going to be able to cash in on that almost guaranteed as well.
I mean, rarely in LCS do we have the objective bounties this early. They can turn on at 14 minutes and we're barely past 14 minutes. LYON have done the slamming already, so let's see.
The slamming.
The slamming has occurred. Now let's see.
You heard the man, Flowers.
All right.
Did he stutter?
Observers, could you pan over the bottom lane tier 1 turret for me real quick? That stupid ward is in the way on the mini-map. The other one. I want to see if there's any plates taken on the LYON side turret, because first turret was acquired. Okay.
The baby plate.
One single plate from the bottom lane turret is the only thing FlyQuest has got this entire game.
And I will say, that baby plate sometimes just gets taken by minions.
Yeah,
it's
a pity plate.
It's
like
really
when you're playing video games with your kid brother and you give him the controller, it's not even connected. He thinks he's in the game.
Well, they can mash that button as much as they want. The character ain't gonna jump, because right now it's LYON, the only ones making any decisions here on Summoner's Rift. 5,500 gold ahead, 15 minutes in. They got themselves the grubs. They got the first dragon. They got the Herald now. Next dragon's gonna spawn in 15 seconds. FlyQuest is trying to set up around the area. Griffin at least should be able to take this Scuttle Crab before LYON can do anything about it, but I don't see LYON just letting FlyQuest do this.
I think this is a good time to remind people that LYON are top 3 team in the world
there you
right
go.
now.
Yes, sir.
So they're looking like it as well, even after all the travel that they've done, coming back here and bringing in Armeo. Armeo, yeah, he didn't have to get super active early on, but he still had a good EQ flash play on the bottom side down there. And yeah, he may be a little rusty, may have been playing, top lane and stuff, but he's doing just fine, great in this.
Well, I mean, honestly, when you're in a game and all your lanes are winning, you just need to not mess it up, right? You don't need to do anything crazy. Exactly. Show up to the objectives, play with your strong members. You don't need to get fancy here, no matter who you are. You have been gifted this position where all the lanes are winning. Dokla's now 2.6K ahead. He is ridiculously strong. And Berserker's going to be a problem too, so it's like you have to kill Berserker somehow, but you have to fight through.
Thinkard looks catatonic, man. He is not among us
He's less
anymore.
than impressed with the performance so far this game, I think.
Well, LYON also, Griffin jumps in over the wall to potentially steal the dragon. Normally you see teams respect Lee Sin's ability to do that. They're just like, nah, we're not going to stop DPS, not slow DPS, just burn it down. We don't care about this guy. There is absolutely no concern in the LYON ranks for anything that FlyQuest can do right now.
Yeah. I mean, Armeo is like, I need a little excitement now. Let's do a
Let's flip it.
Let's do a snipe fight here real quick. But 6K gold this early on into the game is pretty tough to deal with. So With the Rift Herald, they're going to be able to open up mid lane as well. Man. This is the last of the outer defenses that FlyQuest currently have, and it's not going to last too long.
6K is bad, but 7K is worse, Mr. Kobe, and it's going to get closer and closer to that as the Herald makes its charge. They do manage to stop it from taking the entirety of the turret. Scryer's trinket placed down over the wall, immediately cleared out by Saint. Dokla jumps in for the Mega Gnar, immediately wallop, boulder toss, the whole combo thrown at Quadzakali. He hides in the smoke to stay alive, but with 1/3 HP left, he is not feeling comfortable against the Gnar.
Yeah, I mean, Dokla, that was a huge amount of damage and forcing out the Akali ultimate, like jumping on Akali when she's trying to rotate to your lane like that and just taking away the cooldown that everybody fears in the game. I mean, that does not bode well for your comeback potential because FlyQuest, they have to build their comeback slowly, and you need burst damage to do that because you have to focus on getting a bounty off of, you know, this LYON team. And yeah, it's rank 2 ulti, so it's not like the end of the world, super long cooldown, but you know, one less tool for the time being that you have to try and burst out an opponent and try and get some of these bounties.
Yeah, and I mean, they desperately need any tool that they can have because this
maybe
game
some tools that they don't have.
Maybe some tools, yeah, maybe a 6th player that they can get in there.
They might have more problems than that. Masu stays alive for just a moment, and it's the Locket of the Iron Solari from Cryogen, the shield, barely enough to keep his carry standing. But Masu's Ziggs might as well be invisible this game. 0-2 and 0 has not been able to accomplish a whole lot of anything. Isles immediately popping the hook shot right back into Gakgos as the FlyQuest top laner is nearly instantly killed from Saint's burst. Nobody dies on either side, but for FlyQuest, man, this is so scary.
I mean, I like Saint's movement, but here we go.
Nice play. There we go. That's what you guys are talking about. If you want to get back into the game, it's a long road, and it comes from picks. That kind of a pick right there. Cryogen with the Solar Flare, followed up with a public execution. Yes, it's only the enemy support, but everything's a good thing if you can get something here for FlyQuest.
Oh no, we see him. Lee here.
Okay.
He showed.
I mean, we can go for his bot camps too here.
Yeah.
Push.
It's not bad. I'm gonna get my
here.
camps. Oh, I missed out. Okay. Cancelled.
I canceled.
Oh.
I canceled him.
No flash. He's
I like it. You know, they are all filling in and making plans, and Dokla talking about we can go for the bot camps here too, and you know, LYON definitely still on point.
Okay, Saint jumps in. A lot of burst onto Cryogen, gets about 75% of his HP. Isles hopping in, forces the flash from the Leona back over the wall to safety. Another summoner spell down for FlyQuest just to survive.
Yeah, it's very interesting as well that Saint is actually going Cosmic Drive. Not something that I really ever see. It's almost always, you know, from fed positions like this, going in for Shadow Flame and more flat pen. But it does give him, you know, a little bit more survivability, a little bit more mobility to kind of dodge in and out against all these melees.
And I have been very impressed with his range and with his movement so far in the game. It does seem like he's making the most of it. He's sticking in range for a lot of these tethers as we have Dokla.
Oh boy, yep, Masu immediately in some danger, tries to get on the right angle here for his satchel, wants to jump over the wall into the safety of the chickens. But no chickens will be found. It's LYON, the ones eating good. The Zig's dead again. The punish onto Masu. How dare he step out close to the midpoint of the map as Dokla just goes right back to stealing away camp. If Griffin tries to fight over this big Krug, he may just die. The kick away onto Isles isn't going to matter. Armeo swoops in, Dokla gets the kill, and Griffin doesn't even get the Krug.
Dude, Dokla is an absolute monster, man. Yeah. This guy is a beast. He's taking your Krug, he's taking your life, he's 2v1ing people.
He's not done. It's Berserker and Dokla getting another kill. The jungle is not even safe. He was 5 yards away from his base walls, and Cryogen just died.
Yeah, those are Dokla's base walls. He's thinking that too. My man's up almost 4K at this point. And I thought this was going to be a game about Berserker after the early stages. I thought it was going to be about the Cassio, how you can't solve that problem. But Dokla is just running around, killing everyone. No one can threaten him.
Ooh, and right there, Saint grabs another one, killing spree onto Gakgos. Quad tries to catch up to LeBlanc, but it just ain't going to happen because here comes a TP. Big Dokes making his way back down into the bottom lane, and Quad has got to be careful. Dokla has the shield from the empowered teleport. He's got his Sterix plus a Negatron cloak. Quad has no chance of being able to kill this Gnar, mini-form or not.
Certainly not. Yeah, I would run the other way. They're going to run away from the dragon. Armeo is on objective duty. Good job. Keep collecting those. Big Dokes also, I interviewed him before this match, and he was very respectful, ranked Gakko's top 2 top laners in the LCS. I guess now we know who the top 1 top laner Dokla might rate in the LCS is. Because he is an absolute monster. And I always also give extra honors to top laners that, survive ganks. And we saw, him get kills for his team by avoiding the gank. Well, also helped that they didn't perfectly chain their, kick into Ambessa ultimate. But still, putting out the damage and drawing them in and avoiding dying at all this game while accruing such a massive lead.
That's why I always like playing games with Azael, because Azael will get ganked by 4 people all game long, won't die to it except every now and then. I won't help him at all.
I was about to say, brother, I like you gassing me up, but you are lying. I die to every jungler.
No, you can die. But to be fair, you're getting 4v1. Your jungler don't help you. That's okay. I'm the jungler. I know.
He doesn't complain about it that much.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah. I don't die that often, and I don't complain that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're back in the realm of reality.
We're having a great time. It's fantastic. It's a Baron at 23 minutes for LYON,
be
though.
honest with the people,
Yeah, that's, this is a 10,000 gold lead, right? This is totally comebackable.
Yeah,
I mean, compared to the average top laner, they do complain a lot. So
there you go.
With just
Exactly.
a single game.
I'm on the right side of history. You know?
Yeah, you've got like another 9,000 complaints before you hit top laner average. Like, you're fine, man.
Oh, man.
You could definitely crash out a couple of Flex 2 games. It would be like, yeah, it's all good, bro.
It's all cool.
Yeah.
You've earned those.
Understandable.
You built that up, It's like you save it up. Like
Yeah,
re-rolls in A-Ramp.
Yeah,
You crash outs for top lane. You get one every once in a while.
You've got them banked at this
Now
point.
Every 3 times you play against a Vayne, you are obligated to crash out at least once.
Now I'm looking forward to Azael's next crash out now. It's going to be epic.
This will be...
He's
It's been a
building
while.
it, building it up. Yeah.
They made the announcement that the classic Go for Lols are happening soon. So there you go. You could play some classic Go for Lols, crash out a little bit, have a top lane experience. Masu's having a mid lane experience right now. Saint just continues jumping forward, being as aggressive as possible on this LeBlanc. You guys mentioned the Cosmic Drive earlier, and it just means it's that much more frequent with all the ability haste that he can constantly go in for these plays. Gakos' public executions have not been good this game, and Berserker ought to just be able to outplay him and slay him here as Dokla's going to be under pressure from 3 down in the enemy jungle, tries to flash away, keeps himself alive, getting away from Sonic Wave. Dokla still hanging on down here. Everything FlyQuest tries, it's just not enough. They're too far behind in the game. Gakos dies up in the top lane. Dokla survives down in the bot side jungle, and the LYON pressure continues. They've still got this Baron for another minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean, Berserker just chases him down so easily. As soon as the ult misses, the Rylai's slows are just never going to end. Every Noxious Blast he hits, he gets the move speed, you get slowed down, and it's an easy chase down there as LYON. This one is just not even close. It doesn't feel like FlyQuest have been able to even find plays to attempt because LYON are constantly in their jungle on both sides of the map. They see everything that they are doing, and it feels like it is only a matter of time before LYON take this first game.
I'm feeling pretty good about our power rankings because at the beginning of the day, the producers were like, oh, just so you know, these are going to be regular season, so we're taking into account that our Mayo is going to be sub for LYON, and I was like, I'll leave LYON at first place. We'll see how it goes, and it looks like they are staying there.
It's looking good.
It does.
Yours is looking a lot better than mine. I have FlyQuest above them. I'm currently in the
It's
sinking
just
ship.
one game. One game,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. But
We've got a lot of time to overreact.
Yeah, we do.
There's not
there's not a whole lot in the game.
Yeah. It's definitely React content now.
Okay, well, let's see if FlyQuest can react to the push from LYON, because honestly, if LYON gets a clean engage here, they should just be able to end this game very, very soon. 13,000 gold lead. They're at soul point. Saint jumps in, flashes back away. The solar flare aimed at the distortion return point would have potentially given FlyQuest an angle to try to engage on the fed LYON mid laner, but Saint avoiding that, feeling good for now. Quad trying to wrap around through this left side flank, but the mid lane tier 3 turret still eating a lot of damage. As Cryogen loses half HP, not going to find a target. There with the E, over the wall comes Gakko's public execution. It's not going to do a whole lot here just yet, but Saint is finally going to get shut down by Masu, but FlyQuest health bars are just melting. Even when they finally get something, LYON gets more. Quad gets a shutdown. Berserker finally dies, but Dokla's ready with a mop and bucket to clean him up. FlyQuest finally finds a couple of kills, but they lose 4 in the process. Gakkos teleporting to the Nexus turrets just for the shield to try to defend, but he's here in a 1v3. Isles goes in for the hook shot. Armeo's ready to follow up with the EQ combo. Isles still staying alive. Dokla needs a little bit more damage, and he should be able to find it. One more boulder toss ain't gonna get the mark, but the crunch does. Ace for Dokla. That is a dominating game 1 from LYON, maintaining their form from MSI and trashing FlyQuest here in this first one. All right, FlyQuest choosing last pick, LYON choosing blue side. So let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. Important to note that even though FlyQuest chose last pick, LYON is still choosing to ban the lockout for themselves, which means they do not want to prioritize it as a first pick option. They will also ban out the Galio, while Nocturne and Ezreal are banned by Fly.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing tournaments, traveling around a lot, so maybe not invest too much
They probably
time.
don't even know what he does. I have his
time.
abilities pulled up here on this monitor just in case somebody picks him. I don't know what they are.
He throws nails, and then he autos you for all of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
The grenade is just for style.
Yeah, that's for the executing style.
Auto attacks you and you're dead.
You can pick that up later too if you want. And anyways, we'll wait until we actually get him into the game. But let's focus right back down here because the Ezreal banned here as well, and the Ziggs and the Ezreal are kind of the two most safe and most played, over the last basically month of bot lane champions here. So we're gonna follow it up with the Seraphine ban as well to kind of block Ashe Seraphine.
So Jace and Ori are the two kind of conspicuously absent from the ban list in my mind, with the addition of the Galio and the Seraphine. So we'll see, is it just going to be a first pick Jace here for Dokla? And what angle do they want to go with this? Because it feels like I was trying to kind of think through, what the Galio ban would be setting up for, which that was the one that I wasn't as sure about, because normally you see that as an answer to things like Rumble, sometimes,
lane,
but more recently like Akali and melee champions that are kind of evasive, but some of the best champions that you want to play into were already played last game, so that one threw me off a little bit. But Jay seems pretty standard. I think we are probably going to see like Vi Orianna or something along those lines as an answer, because I don't think you're going to want to give over both the Jace and the Ori.
Nerf lock again. Get him.
He's probably going to need a couple of those couple taps to knock him down.
Couple more of his own nails to seal the coffin.
Yeah.
Well, we will have the buy locked in,
go.
but instead of the Orianna, it will be that Syndra that you mentioned in the previous champion select. Azale has been becoming more popular as a bottom laner, too.
Yeah, exactly. It has been getting played bottom lane quite a bit, mid lane quite a bit. So it does have a lot of plays, globally around the world, 40 mid lane and 19 bot lane so far this split. So
okay, so 2/3 split.
Exactly. But definitely could be going either way. And both teams looking like they are going to pass up on that Orianna for now. I thought it would have been the Orianna alongside that Vi, really get that engaged. But of course, you can do similar things with the Syndra, setting up with the Scatter of the Week or following up on that Vi ult with Scatter of the Week and trying to burst someone down.
And then this response from LYON is good because it works either way. Even if you rotate Syndra bottom, Victor is very good generalist. Just try and scale into pretty much anything. You can scale. You'll have pretty good range, pretty good wave clear. Look to scale up and get some stacks yourself. And then they're getting Armeo onto Xin, which is a very good matchup into Vi, especially early on, and does allow your jungler a lot more authority too. So if they've got some solid lanes to play around again, then the Xin does get to kind of dictate some of the early objectives.
Yeah, absolutely does. And I always feel like Xin works well into champions like Syndra, where the Syndra wants to try to move in and follow up, and it's difficult to get past him with that crescent guard. Olaf going to get grabbed, though. So this is Olaf top. We saw this at MSI a few times. Yep. Being picked as an answer into the Jace. Can be pretty hit or miss. If you can get ahead, if you can get those kills early, it really can look good. But if the Jace is able to, just play Storm Raiders and avoid some of those deaths early, it can become pretty difficult, I think.
And I also like, considering LYON is playing with a substitute jungler, with someone who has been playing more top lane recently compared to his traditional jungle main role, I like the fact that they're putting him on these simple, staple jungle champions like the Jarvan, like the Xin Zhao. We're not getting flashy, we're not getting crazy, we're not having you play anything that you've really got to be like dialed in to know how it works. These are just very reliable champions. I like that there for Armeo. The Olaf into the Jace matchup is very interesting. Second half of the draft coming up, though, as Vayne is the first ban from Fly.
To me, the Vayne ban shows that they still think that the top lane might not actually be picked, because there is possibilities of flexing things really around. Victor has been getting played bot, so Victor could go bot and Jace could go mid, and you could try to do a cheesy counter pick into this Olaf. So I think that is their concern with this Vayne ban. I don't think you're worried about, blind Vayne bot lane, that type of situation. So
usually not feared.
Exactly. So it is interesting that they are still concerned about the fact that even with Jace Victor, that top lane might not be actually picked, and that the Olaf could still get counterpicked. And that is some of the power that I think LYON has, because they have a lot of flexible players. You have to be worried about all of these scenarios.
Okay, we've got the Bard banned out by LYON. They do not want to have that extra pressure onto the side lane when you're going to be playing something like a Jace. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Pyke ban from FlyQuest shows that they respect the Isles Pyke. He has earned the ban status here in this first series of Summer Split.
Yeah, I mean, he was popping off at MSI. Really big performance on the champion. So let's see, though, because this does put a little bit more question on the reveal for the bottom laners. And I want to see if we're going to continue and have 2 of 2 games have mages again, if they're actually going to rotate or not.
All right. We'll see here. FlyQuest, they know that if they lock in the AD carry or the bot laner, then that's going to give it away. Okay. But if they lock in the support, it still keeps their opponents guessing on where Syndra is going to go. So although support is normally saved for last to get the support counter matchup, since they dictate so much in lane, because of the current state of Mage's bot, they instead want to keep LYON scratching their heads on where Syndra's going.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you let them know for sure where things are going, then LYON has full info to flex things around on their 4-5 here, right? So they could put a different top laner top. They could move things around, but they don't know what the matchup is still. So that makes it a lot more difficult. It's going to be Volibear. How do you feel about Volibear versus Olaf?
I mean, I feel like that's a one where whoever flinches first loses.
Just got to click the other guy and stay
Close your eyes and start right-clicking.
And I would say,
that's how I like to play.
if I'm the Volibear and I have Xin on my side, I'd never flinch. So if my jungler is the Xin for early, I feel like that should be LYON positive.
Zin's like your hype man. He's keeping you confident.
Yeah, exactly. That's your boy.
This, bro. Take that all in.
Because as long as I don't get hit with a full charge, or my Xin doesn't get hit with a full charge Vault Breaker, we're going to win that.
And post level 6, support Shen, that's going to make you feel pretty comfy too.
Yeah, there you go. Xin for the early, and then Shen ultimate for the later. I like that.
And even early on in MSI, when Isles' Camille and Pyke were having a lot of fans feeling a little hesitant, his Shen was showing up from the start. I feel like Isles on the Shen, very, very powerful, especially when you consider champions like Olaf, who need a lot of auto attacks. The Spirit's Refuge can do a lot, but the final pick of the draft for FlyQuest is Sylas for quad. How are we feeling about the value that he gets from the ultis he can steal? Because I feel like Shen and Xin Zhao are both huge value ultimates.
Yeah, they are really, really big. I always hate to see Sylas when I'm playing Shen, because I just feel like he's just getting more out of this ultimate, which can be really, really powerful to steal. Volibear's whatever, Victor's kind of whatever, but I do think there's a couple good ones. Crescent Guard can be really powerful. The Stolen Stand United can be very, very powerful. And it is going to be that expected Victor bot, the Jace mid, and that Volley top. And the question becomes, how much are they going to flex around in bot? Are we actually locking in with this? Because now it's down to 20 seconds. So
all right,
it looks like it is going to be...
Masu's going to take the Sylas.
Sylas versus Jace as well. So the Jace went bot too. So that was actually pretty unexpected for me. I thought it was going to be
This is kind of crazy.
This is really crazy. I think they're both kind of trying to guess where each other are going, looking for specific matchups. And at the end of the day, I don't even know if they're like, which team is happy with this? Because we're in this weird world.
Is anyone happy with it?
So I presume that LYON are probably happy with how it turned out, because they get their Victor into Syndra just kind of scaling there, and then they also get the Jace on bottom side to... with a Shen, I feel like you're threatening some good kill pressure onto the Sylas down there. So the guess here, for me at least, is that LYON are decently happy with it.
That's kind of my feeling too, but I can't say I've ever watched Shen Jace versus Sylas.
You telling me you don't know this matchup, bro? Come on.
I mean, in my head, it's like Jace is poking you and getting push, and then if you all in, you get taunted potentially by Isles, and then things get really, really hard with Spirit's Refuge. Dokla is playing Ignite. Isles is playing Ignite. Cryogen's playing Ignite. It's double combat summoners across the top lane. This is going to be spicy.
I think that LYON are going to win both sides then, because if you have Ignite for Volibear, then you for sure are going to have the confidence, to bully top, and your junglers are going to get pulled everywhere. Everywhere, like both sides should be volatile. Top lane as well as bottom lane should be opportunities, because Sylas is going to have to use up health to be able to get minions.
Yeah, the ghost on Olaf feels great when you're running after carry targets in team fights. Volibear's not going to run away from you. Yeah. He's just going to stand there and smack you right in the face with his big old bear claw, and then you're going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, but bear claw and bite you too.
Yeah, bear teeth too. Down here in the bottom lane, scrapping back and forth a little bit, trading blows, but honestly, nobody's doing anything wild just yet. Both junglers are starting on their respective bottom side quadrants, so they'll be pathing towards that top lane that we expect to be very explosive. We expect to be a game of chicken between these bruisers.
I like how in chat as well, we got Masu saying tactics, and then they're like season 16. There's definitely a wild world out there now, as we're kind of just in this crazy mode of mages are going bot, then people are like, well, what were the counter of those mages in mid lane? But I want to talk a little bit about FlyQuest, and this quote, I was talking to ThinkCard yesterday, and he was telling me at the start of the year, that it was going to be a process, developing this roster, a lot of young players. They have looked at it as preparation for Summer Split, for this split. And that is where the expectations start to change for this roster. He told me point blank, they're going to Worlds. They're going to qualify. He believes that. The team is confident in it. But that does put a different level of pressure, I think, on this team. We can see they've been getting better split over split. Lock-in was pretty rough. Last split, they were very competitive. They did end up getting knocked out earlier than they would have hoped in playoffs, but still very, very competitive. And so if they can continue that improvement, they can definitely make it to Worlds, but it's going to be interesting now that they actually have pressure on them. The expectation is you must succeed now, whereas the other splits we're looking at, just get better.
Yeah, exactly. I talked to Griffin as well. It's similar sentiments, and now Griffin's face-checking into the Xin here early on. That is very good for Armeo, and he forces the flash.
Yeah, that was dire news. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, Berserker under a lot of pressure, flashing away, trying to survive. And Masu chasing him underneath the turret. It's first blood back over to the Sylas, making it 1-for-1 as Isles and the turret get revenge. Isles continuing to march forward, but he does not have the cooldowns to get a second kill. So an even trade in bottom side, but first blood belongs to FlyQuest in game 2.
Yeah, the minions are pushing away from them, but they do have teleport. Both of them have teleport, and Isles cancels his recall, as does Cryogen. We're going again, round 2.
They immediately try to go in for the taunt onto Masu, but instead it's a mistake, a blunder from LYON. Isles wanted to hang around and see if they could spring a trap, but they're the ones who end up in danger as Masu and Cryogen triumph in the 2v2.
Yeah, that is crazy. Isles obviously cancels his recall because he thinks Cryogen base, and he's like, ha, we're surprising you, but Cryogen canceled his recall too.
Let's take a look, guys. They don't have, let's see as it plays out. So this is the first one.
Yeah.
Cryogen trying to force it. And they are going to get the full combo here onto Berserker, forcing his flash, even though he does a good knockback flash.
Yeah, not the easiest thing, but Isles needs to block the Absconded Duck follow-up. I think if he flashes in front of that or taunts in front of that and actually blocks that, I think Berserker lives, and it's a very different 2v2. But did get taken down, and then Masu gets another kill off that re-engage they attempted on the TP, and that turns a little bit rough because now Sylas is in this position where we've seen Sylas in mid lane. It's the same principle, range versus melee. You're surviving, but once you get ahead, you can start threatening all-ins over and over and over.
Ooh, nice scout of the week from Quad as Cryogen makes the rotation over to mid lane to follow it up, provide a little bit more damage. Saint not going to use the flash, calm under the pressure.
Okay, meanwhile, without all the cameras on top side, because all the action is bottom side too, the Ignite Volibear here is being able to get the push out, did get the bounce back, and we've got another wraparound gank.
Yup, this is trouble for the LYON bot side duo. Remember, there's no flash available on Berserker. They are immediately going to go right in after the Jace. It's all too easy once Griffin shows up. Berserker is dead for the second time as Isles can do nothing to try to save him in the 2v3. FlyQuest having a much better early game.
Tactics. It's just bot lane tactics here, baby. You got it. Bot lane Sylas Rel combo. Go gank. Keep the action going. Not looking for CS, looking for kills, and now they're starting up the dragon.
Yeah, you can tell they're having some laughs about it too. Quad when Berserker died is just spam pinging Jace dead again.
Well, the Dragon is not going to be a legal maneuver here as Dokla jumps in after Gak goes, doesn't commit his own ult, but forces out the Ragnarok. And now that Olaf, who's been on the back foot in this matchup, well, he's on his butt at this point. There is no way for him to try to stand and fight no ulti against Volibear ready to go.
Yeah, and I believe that wave was pushing away from him too. That is a rough spot versus Volibear that has Ignite. I mean, this is why it's so popular to go for these matchups. And so you got to send reinforcements. They are sending reinforcements instantly here because Gakko's just kind of watching.
Yeah, I mean, that is always such a tough spot to be in when you're just watching minions die, but they're moving up here, lying around.
Yep, it's Armeo and Ios immediately coming in, looking to start up this fight. Armeo dropping the Crescent Guard as Dokla swoops in from the side, and Griffin's already going to be killed down in the bottom lane here at the same time. Berserker down to 100 HP, flash over the wall coming out from Gakko's. Berserker triumphs here in the 1v1 as Quad flashes over the wall to get away from Saints. It's LYON popping off in two different places at once. Berserker with the outplay. LYON with the better skirmish in the topside river. Isles is not done yet. He's going to find the potential recall auto attack. Shadow dash, auto attack. Isles buries Quad.
Beautiful there. He had plenty of time. Calls in the Q. He can wait for the Q to come through. Instant taunt, so there's no escape there either. And hey, let's just get Berserker more 1v1 time. I think that's the name of the game. Him versus Masu in the 1v1s have been incredibly, well, and the first game was very one-sided. This one was very close and very exciting.
Honestly, I thought Berserker was dead. He had, I want to say 5% or less HP, but Masu was still level 5. He hit level 6. He had that level up, had the experience advantage. Obviously, Jace not getting some crazy ult, but you still are getting stats. You're getting additional damage from that. And he just went hammer for him and just smacked down Masu before Masu had another spell back up that would have given him the kill for sure. And now, even with those early kills that Masu got, he's down 14 CS, and he's down an entire level again.
All right, back to the Dragon Pit. 1,000 gold lead for LYON, but neither side wants to do anything audacious around this objective.
And Masu, with his first Silas steal here, goes for the Shen ultimate, which could be very interesting considering he also has teleport. So they have double teleports plus a stolen Shen ultimate. And Isles doesn't have his yet, and he's under attack in the pit.
Yep, that's only a level 4 Shen trying to get away here as Griffin uses the ulti. He was thinking if Isles tries to shadow dash over the wall, I can follow him here with a cease and desist. Isles waits though, and now he's going very far behind enemy lines. No help is coming. Quad should be able to take this kill, no problem. Goes ahead and commits the unleashed power. I don't really think the ultimate was entirely necessary there, but Quad wanted to make sure that he got the kill and got back to lane.
Exactly. The minions were coming close to tower, so he's like, I'm not chasing you around, buddy.
I mean, that was really nicely done. This is that 1v1 back earlier. And I thought, when I looked down at that point, I thought that Masu had it for sure. Right? That looked so close. That was one auto attack away or, you know, a W coming back up, anything, and he got it. But Berserker just has the confidence to go for the kill, makes the play happen. And that is big for Berserker.
Yeah, and it's, again, Berserker here, you know, on one of these non-traditional bottom laners where he's checking the damage, and he's like, all right, I think I go back in right now. I have the burst damage. Topside, though, Dokla.
Yeah, Dokla looking to get away. Commits his ulti defensively. Fine with that trade because Gakko's already used the Ragnarok here on his Olaf, so now both top laners just going to equalize back out to a no ulti state for the next minute and a half, somewhere thereabouts, and Dokla loses essentially no HP for the time of the enemy support.
Yeah, I mean, that looked very very non-threatening, shall we say, on that all-in. But Cryogen is back, and now he doesn't have it all this time. Let's see.
Yep, the first one didn't work, so let's try it a second time. Dokla, the focus of not only Cryogen and Gakko's, but Griffin now also ready to join the party. Dokla has no flash. There's no way out here for the Volibear. They give the kill over to Gakko's, and FlyQuest takes the lead in kills yet again.
Yeah, Dokla realizes he's dead, so he just focuses down the wave. He's able to finish that off here, but LYON are looking for a potential play. They TP'd Berserker up. They've got 3 top.
Yeah, Armeo clearing out the control ward here in the tri-brush. They shouldn't be aware of Isles' positioning, I don't believe.
W to stop recalls.
Yeah, Armeo steps up, wind becomes lightning, stopping that recall exactly as you're saying. Cryogen and Griffin making their way up. Berserker looking to put the damage into Gakko's, kill off the Olaf, trying to get back away from the turret aggro. as now it's a finish kill from Griffin. Berserker dies, Armeo, the weak are scattered, and the Xin Zhao falls. It's a big overcommit coming in from LYON. FlyQuest sends the whole team and crushes the attack.
Yeah, they try to pull off this dive, but Berserker pulled tower aggro. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but it looked like the tower went straight onto him. As they back out, yeah, it swaps onto him, and Cryogen is CCing him up. He flashes out over the wall, but the ulti was already buffered from the Vine, just turns it into a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, and it was, Isles had the aggro, and then he just walks out of range, and he's still attacking for Berserker, so he grabs it, and the collapse for FlyQuest, yeah, he's laughing about it as the Vine came to find him afterwards, but FlyQuest with a huge move. This is big for the series. This is big for them because they already had the Dragon. Now with 1,000 gold lead after this topside play, are going to be feeling much more confident.
So this is actually also the first bot Sylas in LCS history. It's only the second in Tier 1
I'm
history.
not
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I believe that stat.
I believe that too, but second in all of Tier 1? That's pretty crazy. The only time it was actually played before this was Mir in the 2019 OPL, and hilariously enough, Isles was his support. So
Isles is the common denominator of these shenanigans.
Isles is the Sylas bot guy.
Isles is like, I've seen this before. Don't worry, Berserker.
Ooh, I've seen that before too. Griffin making another trip up here to the top lane. They get another kill on the Dokla's Volley Bear. Gakos on the Olaf, closing that gold gap as Quad flashes over the wall to escape a potential play there from LYON. And we heard from the analysts at the top of the day when they were giving their thoughts about the matchup. Jat was saying that, Gakos has looked good on carries. This is a player who can perform on something that's not just a meatball here in the top side. So Griffin really enabling this Olaf to be a terror in the team fights. I like the strategy.
And when you play Olaf, you kind of have to play towards Olaf, right? Like, this champion has no fallback pattern. It has no utility. It is run at you, and either I die or you die.
You're a ball of stats.
Exactly. So you need to get this guy into a good position. He has that first item now completed. And it is going to be tough for champions like Victor and Jace potentially to survive if he can get a good angle and get in onto them with that Ragnarok up. We also know that there's potential of, Rel engaging at the same time, of the Vi ult, of a Stolen Stand United to buff him up and enable him. So there are tools there for FlyQuest to turn Gakos into a demon.
Yeah, I mean, their dive is really strong on FlyQuest, so they can continue to push aggressively for Vision to set up for these objectives and then find your flank angles because, as you say, you can't stop a Vi or an Olaf. Like, they literally, they can both go just immune to CC on the engages. And Masu here with the Sylas has some pretty decent ultis to steal to go for it and back them up. This play is being scouted by Vision, but they don't care.
Yup, they're just going to full send after Berserker. The Jace about to fall. He fights as long as he can, but ultimately FlyQuest get what they came for, 11-5, 1,500 gold lead. They are looking so much better here in the second game. 10 seconds until the next dragon spawns, and the enemy carry is dead, even as it happens.
Yeah, it's nice to see FlyQuest battling back here. Even with Inspired, they were battling pretty well back and forth against LYON last split. They did take him down in the regular season.
Okay. They warded here. They're kind of scared. If you find Jin, it's good. Wait, can we look, guys?
You can.
I think we can go. I think we can go. I'm going. He use Q.
They can be behind. TP.
Volley TP.
I think we can look to one shot and leave. Okay.
Do you guys want to
We're chilling. We're chilling.
Okay.
Chill. They get the kill. Get back to this dragon. I think they can defend this dragon too. Armeo is trying to sneak it away, but he doesn't have the damage.
Yeah, this is not particularly quick with just Xin Zhao solo DPSing the Drake. Down to 3,000 HP on that one. Nice scat of the week. Dokla loses 1/3 of his HP, but still confident enough to stay here on the front line. Cryogen stepping up alongside Griffin. Now Isle's going to be the target for Masu as the Sylas moves forward. Drake control. Forced away, and FlyQuest will take Drake number 2.
Meanwhile, top side, they're just going to push the wave out and collect the other one. So FlyQuest here really building us towards the comeback in this series. And again, their dive is so strong that there's not a lot you can do to stop about this if you don't have the damage.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the Vi and the Olaf are kind of guaranteed in there. And since you've got a Rel plus a Sylas as well from your bottom lane, you have even more engaged from a double melee bottom lane that is so rare in competitive league. And this is one of the upsides of this FlyQuest young roster that people love watching. is how aggressive they can be when they have tools like this at their disposal.
And just the unique picks that they have the confidence to bring out. You know, Emily talked about it on the pre-show. You know, we saw Griffin obviously bringing out the Jungle Shen, the Jungle Nasus. We saw, you know, Quinn. We've seen a lot of different picks bring out that other people weren't really playing that much. And they had the confidence to bring it out. They feel like, hey, this is the spot for it. This is the right pick. Let's go for it. And it's cool to see them continuing that in summer.
Okay, let's see who's going to be first to the Rift Herald pit. It looks like Armeo is already in there, starting that one up. Meanwhile, Dokla in some trouble up here on the top side. Unleash Power forces the defensive ulti out of Big Dokes. The bear nearly dead, forced to back off, and that means that Armeo can also no longer maintain the confidence to take the Herald. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, it's another play coming out from FlyQuest. They find the kill onto the enemy mid laner. Back up in the top side, Armeo trying to re-engage after quad. Cryogen following up behind him, trying to protect his own mid laner. Cryogen gets through, throws back a stun to keep himself and his mid laner alive. Gakko's still putting in work in the bottom lane, tier 1, as FlyQuest disengages up here in the top side river at the same time. 2,500 gold lead for FlyQuest. The Rift Herald restarted now by LYON, and it looks like they will be able to claim that one. FlyQuest backs away, but they'll take first turret in the bottom lane in trade.
Yeah, great moves from FlyQuest. Again, the bot side, you saw that dive, the double unstoppable Vi and the Olaf. You kind of feel bad for Victor, maybe. Maybe you don't if you don't like the champion, but there's not a lot he could do about it. Now they're going for Isles a little bit here as well. They don't know who else is behind, and they do get the shock blast, but FlyQuest, they make the dive on the side lane bot to get the kill and then get the tower afterwards, and then they can still cover with a stolen Shen ultimate from Masu the other side of the map, so they don't even lose anything on the other side of the map. Really nicely done.
All right, we're not done top side. This time, Dokla has to use his flash to get away. The ulti not available here yet again. That is the second Unleashed Power coming out from the Syndra, trying to get the kill here onto this volley bear. One more orb should be able to do it, but Dokla with a nice heal there stays alive.
Holy.
Big Dokes at 11 HP manages to survive another attempt from FlyQuest, but he's in no position to continue defending.
No way.
They're still not done. Griffin wants to commit. He goes in and he smites him down like a minion. Griffin claims the bear camp, and FlyQuest get themselves their 13th kill.
We got some posters on the top lane. They're chasing after this bear, taking him down. It was pretty well played by Dokla. Got that second hit of his W for that big heal. You can see Cryogen was trying to like kind of dance around on the range of it, but ended up giving it to him.
You know what's super funny? I was thinking when he was he casted his E and he was waiting Volleybear for it to come down and give him the shield. I was like, just keep running, get out of there. Like, there's no like Ezreal ult that's gonna come kill you. But then because he waited for his E to fall there, the Vi got in range, and the Vi was able to chase him down at tier 2 and ends up getting the kill. I mean, that's not going to break the whole game, but it definitely is going to be an added bit of extra money to lend to the second item here for Griffin and continue the snowballing for FlyQuest.
Yeah, I mean, that might not break the whole game, but this might on the top side, as they are massively ahead on these two unstoppable champions, right? We have the Vial, we have the Olaf ult. They're going to be flying in, and they are super fed.
Yep, and you're talking about breaking the game in the top side. I feel like the moment that really broke this game was that blundered attempted dive from LYON that FlyQuest were able to get a 4-for-1 for. That game has been FlyQuest's ever since, and it's not stopping. Dokla's still trying to escape. He gets another nice heal with a volley bear, but no way. Griffin and Gakkos have more than enough damage to burn through that drain tanking, while the Rift Herald is summoned up in the mid lane. That's going to take the tier 1 turret. So at least LYON's going to get something back there, but it's still FlyQuest with that 3,500 gold lead with the first 2 Drakes. It's 10 seconds until the next one spawns. They would love to be able to move to Soul Point as Armeo, Isles, and Saint all have to try to get away. Saint is going to be the target here for Cryogen as he jumps over the gravity field, continues chasing after LYON mid laner. Gakkos throws the axe out, but it's not going to find the target here just yet. It will not matter. There goes Saint. His prayers go unanswered, and FlyQuest are heading straight over to the Drake. They'll grab Soul Point 20 minutes into the game.
Exactly, Soul Point here now, so a massive win condition. They're already really in control of this one and just continuously putting the pressure onto LYON. And so much of the story is we're maybe going to see a little bit of a fight here.
Maybe. Cryogen continuing to walk away. Armeo and Isles, between the two of them, don't have a ton of damage, so Cryo's just fine.
A lot of the story between Lock-In and Second Split was about the fact that...
Aints, or what do you guys think?
I can go top.
Yeah, I think it's best. And I want to just keep killing Victor on side, or make it really hard, at least so he can't get prio.
Victor is the line.
I'll
Victor
look
is
at Victor, okay?
Victor is Juna. Victor is
Yeah, look
okay.
Victor. Here's that, Wait,
Keep looking, and then you can start maybe Drake.
I'll start Drake.
I'll cancel CP VTPs.
You guys got him.
Use 1 CC.
Do that.
Bill probably.
A nice comms there from FlyQuest, but yeah, Griffin obviously really struggled when he went up against some of the big junglers in lock-in, but second split, he was able to actually get a series win here against Inspired, and now this split, we're looking to see, what is his ceiling?
And I like that he was the one calling to keep pressuring Victor too there in the comms, because that is a big way that they're going to be able to push this game forward, is make sure that this mage that is hobbling around in the side lanes with his cane and has no...
You gotta kick his ass.
Yeah, no jumps
Break
of his
the other
own.
leg.
You take the Vi, you take the Olaf, and you make sure that they are not able to have a good side lane presence there. And you make it hard for Saint to play the game. That opens up these neutral objectives for you if you can keep LYON pushed back. But we'll see if LYON can actually get that vision control for themselves. And Saint's under attack again.
Yup, he steps up, but Quad is waiting in the brush. Scatter the Weak collides, but here comes Isles trying to help Saint survive. It's a massive counter engage from Cryogen, but there's no damage ready to follow it up, so Cryo falls. LYON keeps Saint going. They get a kill of their own in return. Now Gakos is split pushing on the other side of the map here at the same time. Looks like FlyQuest won't get anything back.
Yeah, they were both setting up plays, but LYON were setting up a bigger play. You saw them all 5 into the river going to get Baron Vision. So
now the play continues, though. Dokla's going to be your target, but it's Griffin who's killed off first. Shut down over to Armeo as FlyQuest will also lose Masu. That's another 2 kills going the way of LYON. And this FlyQuest lead, this 3,500 gold advantage, has disappeared like magic. LYON have the enemy jungler dead for the next 30 seconds, and Baron is right there ready for the taking. Quad is not just going to let this happen, though. This Syndra sweeping around, wants to make some kind of a big play. He's got Cryogen coming up behind him. The Baron's at about 5,000 HP. Cryogen here in the pit. Gakos also has arrived into the fight. The Baron's going to be your target. Gakos makes his way in. The Baron going to be secured by LYON as Quad is about to die. Berserker grabbing the kill on that one as Armeo is taken low. Gakos still looking to find something. Over the wall goes Isles. Cryogen's going to die here next. It is a slaughter, and it's FlyQuest blood staining the river.
never count LYON out, man. Those 2 consecutive plays, the domino effect, Flowers, the comeback is real here, and it all started because they made a 5-man play up to the Baron to get vision, and Saint's original Zhonya's kept him alive to set up for this Baron play, Azale.
Yeah, and Quad, I just felt like kind of overcommitted. He just walked right into melee range practically. A Berserker let him get the hammer form Q onto him. Berserker knocks him down, and even though Gakos was strong, he is not strong enough to do it all on his own. The lead is gone completely. They were down 5K. They now took Baron, wiped him off the map. They're up over 2,000 gold. Just like that, the game got flipped on its head.
And I feel like the big thing now for the FlyQuest side is you got to look at this Infernal Soul. That's got to be your way to try to retake control over the game, but it's Dokla going in after Griffin. It's Dokla grabbing a kill. FlyQuest jungler dead for the next 45 seconds. He will be alive with about 30 seconds on the clock until that soul spawns. But right now, LYON's just using the opportunity to floor it. They're going straight for the enemy base. They take down the tier 2 turret here on the bottom side, and the push continues. They've got the Red Bull Baron power play for another 90 seconds. They're forcing down the tier 3 turret. Nobody on FlyQuest is able to defend against this right now. They've even got Quad up in the top side. They've got Gakos over in mid lane just trying to get something back here in the split push because there's no way they can stand against LYON in a 4v5.
Oh, that was actually really close to interrupting Dokla. Yeah, they're trying to get as much as they can, but the swap in this game for like the dominance that FlyQuest have been showing, it's just crazy how quickly this turned around. And Armeo just harassing Gakos. They have a TP coming in. They're going to try to chase him down.
Yeah, you go after him here, and even if he pops the Ragnarok to get away, he will not have Ragnarok for the dragon fight. That's the value there. So instead, you can see Gakos decides to spin his flash instead of his Ragnarok because FlyQuest knows they really have to fight for this upcoming Infernal Soul.
Before FlyQuest tried to make the topside play onto Saint that resulted in this domino effect in this Baron play, FlyQuest were up 3,500 gold. Now they're down 3,500 gold. It's almost a 7,000 gold swing, and now one more fight could be the determining factor here as they're approaching the Soul.
Griffin has lost half his HP there. That accelerated shock blast taking a massive chunk. LYON with control over the bottom side river. FlyQuest knows that they really, really need this soul to bring this game back to an even state.
And Masu's trying to buy time for his ult to come back up. He actually used it on the Volibear ult and then just spent the Volibear ult because he realized that's not what I want right now. He has no TP.
He tries to go back in after Saint, lands a good chunk of damage. So Masu and Saint both going to be injured here, but it is LYON in the meantime that have earned themselves control over the objective pit, and they will claim the Infernal Drake, stalling out the soul from Fly.
Just really well done here from LYON, being able to find a way to bring this game back. It felt like it was pretty much all wrapped up here, and that one fight has changed everything.
And one of the huge stories here for LYON, and one of the tests, the fun experiment at the beginning of summer was going to be how will they operate when they're under pressure tactically in games without Inspired. And here, when they were under tremendous pressure, you know, 3 dragons were against them. They group up, they as 5, go get Vision of the Baron. Saint has a clutch Zhonya's play to delay, buy time, they turn it into a kill, they force another one afterwards, and they're able to retake control here as we're approaching the later stages of the game, and now they're in a very powerful position.
It's also really cool because this is something that LYON actually talked about working on, is being able to be better in chaotic games and in these chaotic moments at making the correct decision in a fast-paced game where there's lots of fights happening, where there's lots of action happening, where it's not so clear, where it's just, okay, show up for the next dragon in 5 minutes. You have to make decisions really, really quickly. Inspired has talked about that. LYON has talked about that as being a really big focus for them in last split and going into MSI, and I feel like we're getting to see some of that paying off here.
And now we've got a Guardian Angel for Berserker, so he's really liked the melee form of Jace, and now he can really get in there. The Jace burst damage on 4 items is very real. Armeo's got his Guardian Angel too, so we have another 7-person roster in the LCS now with 2 revives on the side of LYON. They are going to be
Zhonya's and a Seekers and a Locket. It's like, oh man.
The next team fight is just so heavily favored with all the extra lives now on LYON. If they could force it, like before Griffin gets his Guardian Angel, which I think they will be able to do.
I mean, it's essentially there's no way to have a fair fight against a team with 4 I can't die buttons.
Yeah, and Griffin's actually going for Death Stance here too. So I mean, it's going to be a 7 lives versus 5 type of situation. We'll see.
I mean, that pretty much just tells me that if you're FlyQuest, you cannot allow this next fight to get to the point where you look at each other 5v5 and then decide to pick a team fight. It must start unfair, and it must start on your terms, because a fair fight is not a fair fight against double Zhonya's, against double GA.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. And I mean, Quad here is almost 16, almost has death cap, but it's hard to actually get good use.
Okay. That almost was what they needed. They got the flash out of Isles, so that's something.
It is definitely something, but I mean, Berserker's getting a lot of poke too.
Oh, they're flanking. They're making.
Okay. Is this what they want? Isles again could be your target. Nice scatter the weak there from Quad. Finds half of the HP on the Victor. Meanwhile, Isles back in the pit now. Stand United stolen away by Masu. They want to go in. They've already found the LYON support. Now Dokla trying to get a kill back. Quad's under a lot of pressure. Has to try to get himself away. Cryogen burning down in the backside of the Baron pit here at the same time. Stand United coming in, looking to keep him alive, but Dokla's already got the kill. Nice shot coming in from Berserker to make it a twofer, as it's a 3v3 on the map now. Saint, Armeo, and Berserker versus Gakkos, Griffin, and Masu. Berserker getting away for now. Griffin barely staying alive, but he burns down to Saint. Berserker on the chase. He turns it around, he outplays it, he's dominating. Gakkos, nothing but a corpse on the floor as Masu has to run. A bloodbath in the topside river is a 4-for-3 favoring LYON.
That was a wild fight that starts out with everyone chasing Isles into the pit.
Yeah, Isles did a really good job of holding his Shadow Dash for so long, buying a ton of time, made them commit a lot of resources to go onto him, and then Dokla here, I didn't think there was any way he was killing Quad when he had to use the stasis early. Look at this stolen Stand United. That's like 2,000 damage that he burst through from Masu's ult, and LYON are on the Baron here. Masu's back trying to keep him off.
Yeah, Masu stealing away the Xin Zhao ulti, tries to jump in, make some sort of a play. Big abduct hits Berserker, but where's the rest of the follow-up? The Baron already secured by Armeo. Cryogen makes his way into the pit. They're going to find Guardian Angel number 1. Isles is already down. Armeo trying to fight here for the 1v3, but Berserker resurrects. Now going to be knocked down for real this time. Masu and Cryogen in the 2v1 against Armeo. They're going to have to take the Guardian Angel, then the Xin Zhao himself, but they've got to get away because Big Dokes has arrived. He's got Saint right behind him, and Cryogen falls, but now Griffin has showed up. Masu wants to jump right back back in and the fight's not over. Gakkos joins the fray, and Dokla takes a ton of damage. Goes golden for a second, tries to keep himself alive here with the ulti, but he won't be able to out-heal it. Now Saint's under pressure. Griffin diving in towards the mid laner as the resurrection comes through, but Griffin is already dead. Masu continuing the chase now with a stolen Arcane Storm. Another zone just comes out. Armeo wants to turn it right back around. It's a double kill of it as Saint. Gakkos needs a little bit more damage. The gravity field's going to slow him down, but it will not kill him here just yet. Armeo turns around, and LYON get the ace.
This is the LCS, baby! What a series to kick it off here. It's just a brawl back and forth. 43 kills in 30 minutes here.
Oh my god, this fight! Let's take a look at it. Masu goes in with the Xin ult. He's trying to focus down and take out Berserker, who does have a GA, as does Armeo, and so they have to start getting through these lives. But then look at the rift right now. Volibear is heading over immediately, so Dokla's gonna arrive, and then you also have a revive and a teleport coming from Saint 2 to keep the party going.
Exactly, it just kept going and going, and then the Olaf respawns, he TPs in. Saint is trying to keep him away, but Griffin arrives, and they just constantly are throwing themselves into these fights time and time and time again.
And then look at the body blocking.
We're not done. Hold on. Saint's going to get dove now by Griffin. Going in after the enemy mid laner, but he can't find the kill. Cryogen's flank should now just turn into a grave for the Rel. He has no damage to back him up, but he can make enough distance to use the blast cone for the extra escape. Accelerated shock blast continuing to chip away at the health bars of FlyQuest. LYON, now again, they have stopped the potential Infernal Soul from FlyQuest. They have an 8,000 gold lead. They're barreling through the tier 3 turret here in the mid lane while the inhibitor is already exposed in the bottom side. It's a 5v3 here for the next 25 seconds. LYON wants to end this game and make it a clean 2-0 series to kick off Summer against FlyQuest. And they're poised to do just that. Bottom lane inhibitor about to crumble, and the full 5-man press comes out from LYON. First Nexus turret already down. Cryogen tries to go in and mount the defense, but it will not do a thing. Gakkos shot through the heart as he tries to dive towards the carries. Masu's the last man standing, and he too will fall. It was a back and forth bloodbath here in the second game, but LYON prevails and clean sweep FlyQuest 2-0 to start off Summer.